The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, guys. It's Michael Kirkham here, the client value specialist for Brad Insight. Welcome to the Brad Connect webinar. I hope you're all well today. If anybody would be so kind just to pop into either the questions box or the chat box just to confirm that you can hear me, that would be great. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. Right, well, it seems like most people have arrived, so we will get going. Yes, so this is our new login page. You may or may not have used it whilst we were on the beta, but we're now completely live, so the new Brad platform has taken over. I do suggest that you all update your bookmarks, however, because the previous site that you would have used to log in doesn't work as well as it should. So if you could now navigate to bradinsight.com/Brad. So just that portion there, that will bring you straight through to this portal here, so you don't have to log in twice, which often will happen if you're using the previous website. So simply a case of just entering your details. If you want it to, then you can tick remember me and then log on. And so you will notice that at the top of the page at the moment, we are still holding the old Brad Connect open. So if there are things that you would like to do, then you are still able to do that. However, the information on the old Brad isn't updated in the same way that this Brad is now, because this one does take priority, and also indeed allows you to do much more work powerfully. That's a way that I can describe it. So when you log in, this is the page that you're greeted with now. You've got the opportunity to either go straight into browsing across all of the different channels and browsing all of the titles. You'll notice now that we have a tab that says My Title List, so you're actually able to add titles to a list and work on them when it's more convenient. On the right-hand side, we have latest entries, so any new publications that have been recently launched or those that have realised that they should be on Brad. And then also here we have the most recently used title list, so you can click straight through into those. On the top right, we've now added, or rather we've updated the search function. So within here, you can just type in the name of a magazine or a TV show or something like that. You can actually type that in and it will take you straight there. So forgive me for being fairly specific, but I always choose these kind of examples. You can just type in motorsport. You can go to the owner, which is the owner of Motorsport Magazine, is Motorsport Magazine, or you can scroll down and you can actually click into and actually see more specific titles. Now, because I've popped in two separate words, motor and sport, you will actually browse across there. So you'll see that we've got sport and physical activity, sport business, things like that. And you can just go into those at your leisure. I'm just going to click into a media owner and just show you then their titles, which if they had more than one, would be listed here. But if I go into their main magazine, you can then see the profile page for a magazine. And here we've got the magazine title, which is Motorsport, the company that they're part of, the category that are listed within. So they're listed within sport, subcategory motorsport, and then the further subcategory motorsport general. We have their URL, we have the date they were established, the copy price per copy. We then have the editorial profile, which is supplied by the media owner themselves, and indeed the target audience. Then as we scroll down, we have an overview of all of their information. So we can see their key contact is Faye. She's the advertising manager, and I know personally that she's responsible for quite a lot there. So she would be the key person that you would contact. They are ABC audited, so you can see the dates from the 1st of January 2011 to 31st December 2011. Their average net circulation was 35,000. There are no readership figures, but if there are, then indeed they will be supplied. We've got their rates in production, and then we have any further links. So if they're linked to anything else, then you'll be able to click through into that. Now, if you want further detail on all of these, you can click into each one of these. So you could go into contacts and you could see their full address information, and there you can see that whilst Faye's job title is advertising manager, she is responsible for editorial, advertising and production as well. Circulation, as I said, they are ABC audited, so you can scroll down and see a breakdown of all the different sales that they've got. Or if you'd rather, you can actually click into the ABC certificate and this will load the PDF. And so you can view that at your leisure and get a circulation breakdown. Readership, if there were, you'd be able to click into there. And then we have their rates and production in detail. And so you can see the rate card as well as all the production sizes and in what format they need this. If you would like a quick link through to their media pack, then we've also supplied that as well. So you'll see that there is a link here. And if you click, that will load, depending on the publication, their media pack. And you can see that we have that beautiful media pack for you there. There would be a number, though, that don't have it as a PDF. It may be a link. Alternatively, what we also supply is the opportunity just to click straight through. And by clicking that link there, it will just ping up an email, and then the subject's already filled in, and you can just type the niceties and request a media pack. So that's how to use the search function, and that takes you straight into a publication. However, you may not use it like that. You may be wishing to do a fairly specific search. You may have a campaign that you're looking to work across. So we can click into Browse Titles, and hopefully your screen will keep up with mine. I'll try not to speak too far ahead. What this will present us with is all 12,866 of the results. And what we can do is we can go through, we can actually choose specific categories. We can choose the owner, company, we can choose the company location, launch date, audience type, coverage type, or the geographical coverage. Now, depending what tab that you're in, will determine what filters are available. So if we were to go into press, we'd end up with more, likewise radio, TV. So some of these would be very different. But as we're just in the all section at the moment, we just have these specific ones. So what we can do is we can click into Smart Search, and this will drop down all of the different categories that we've got. So when we allow it to just catch up with itself, you'll see that we've got all of them. We can then go into lifestyle, and we could say, well, we're looking for style and fashion, and maybe luxury lifestyle. We can choose those, apply the filter, and you'll see that we've got practically just press and digital. There are no radio, TV, or out of home, but if there were, they'd also appear here. What we can do is we can click the plus, and that will break it down so you can actually see the editorial profile for each one of these publications. And if you want, if you don't have the time to go into each of one of these individually, then you can select this tick box here. By clicking this, it will tick every single one of these, and over on the right hand side you'll see that it's adding these titles to a list. Now at this point in time, you can either choose to create a new list, or you can choose to add it to an existing list that you've previously been working on. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to create a new list, click save, and I know this is lifestyle and fashion. I think it was luxury lifestyle actually, but you can create that list, give it a few moments, and that list is now saved, and you can come back to that. As I said though, you can be more specific. You can go in by owner company, so you can see who owns these titles. You can choose the location. So let's say, for example, if we hadn't already narrowed it down, we could choose those who were in a specific region, say the Northwest, if you were going to see some of these people. We've got launch date, so you can define a date range. We've got an audience type, so whether it's consumer or business, and again, these will change dependent on the section that you're within. The coverage type and the geographical coverage of these publications. So what I'm going to do is I've now saved these to that list. I'm going to remove all the filters, and I'm going to continue, and I'm just going to go through and show you all the different tabs that we've got, and then eventually we'll come back to that list and I'll show you how we can work through that. So if we were to click into press, you will notice once all of these different options have loaded that you've now got extra criteria that you can select. So you can choose the title type, so whether it's a business or consumer magazine. You've got the audit bodies, so you could see only those who have ABC figures, and we could simply tick that. and that will load, and you will only have those who are audited by the ABC. You can select by the type of frequency, so whether it's a weekly, monthly, a regular, bi-monthly or daily publication. You can search by rate type, so you may be wanting to promote, say, a full page or a DPS or something like that. You can select those that have those opportunities. Or you can also choose cover price, whether it's free or indeed paid for. So again, what we could do is we could select those results. I'm just going to add the current page. I'm not going to add all of them because that would give us a ridiculous size list. And I'm going to select one of the previous lists that I've done, so which is test. Click save, and it will pop up and say the list has been successfully saved. So that list of publications has now been added to the titles that I already had within my test list. If I remove the filters again, I'll then show you the radio profiles that we've got. If I click into someone like Capital FM Manchester, you'll see, again, it's the same kind of layout. We have the title, we have the company it's part of, the URL, the established date. Here we've got the broadcast area, the broadcast time, the broadcast frequency, and their programming profile. So they're a dance, national and local news, dance-related news and information station. We have their key contacts, and so you can see we've got the account director, telephone number, and email address. We then have the radio figures. So for Q1 2012, period ending April 2012, they were reaching 453,000 people. We can click through and see the contacts again in key detail. We've then got the audience figures, so a bit more of a breakdown of the radio figures. And again, if there are any links, then indeed you can click through into those. Media packs available for Global Radio. They just supply a web address, so you're probably best just to click the media pack and request that from Ed, and he'll send that over to you. TV then, if we click into that, you will also see, again, the way that you can refine this, and the criteria on the left has changed. I'll select the channel 4 music, and you'll see, again, it's the same level of information. So we have the title, the company, the URL, frequency, and the programmer profile, and then again, all of their key features, key figures, along with the barb figures that are quite important there. And you'll see that their average weekly reach is 4.5 million, with an average weekly viewing of only 5 minutes. Naturally, we also list the digital opportunities, so they are there, and again, you can click through into those. And then finally, the out of home. So I'm sure you'll appreciate out of home is a lot more difficult to cover, but we have all of the information there for you, and we could click into Ad Bikes. Again, they have their profile, the kind of people that it's targeting, and who it targets, along with their overview and the contact there. So if I click back into home, you'll also see, well, how do we get back to those title lists that we're doing? Simply a case of clicking into my title list. You give it a few moments, they will load. Here you've got an opportunity to either go into and continue working on, or you may realize that some of these were accidental, so you don't need these. You can tick them and you can delete. You might realize that the test one that we did earlier, along with my new one, I may want to merge, which I can then rename and just say merged. Or if you're creating lists for people, or there are a number of you that are actually using this login, then what you can do is you can create folders as well. So let's say you either have campaigns, you either have individuals that are using it. We could say, well, this is our music campaign that we're doing. I can then tick BBC Music Competitor, and I can add it to my music folder. So it allows you to be much more organized. But then the way to actually use these lists is we simply just click into one of our lists, and then you'll see what it will do. It will present you with the title name, the media type, the main contact there, along with their contact job title, and their address, their postcode, and their email and telephone number. So you can start to work through. Naturally, if you wonder why you've added one of these to your list, you can simply go into that profile and it takes you straight through, and then you can determine, say, well, actually, I didn't need to contact Amenity Machinery and Equipment. So all I simply do is delete that title, and then they are no longer on our list. However, if you want to add a title, so if this is a list that you're building for someone else, then indeed you can do that, and you can then find it, tick.net, and then we can click save, and they're added to our list. So does anybody have any questions on that so far? I mean, the thing is with Brad is we have completely rebuilt the service. None of it is built off the old platform. It's been taken from scratch and built from the ground up. So naturally, there may be a few features that you weren't aware of. We've tried to make it incredibly intuitive for you and easy to use. But the best thing really is, I've given you an overview, is to just go away, maybe have a play with it. There is no damage that you can do to the system. The worst that you could do is delete one of your saved lists that I've just demonstrated. But if that realistically happens, then I'm sure there's a way that we could rescue it for you. Realistically, as I say, have a play. If you have any particular questions or feedback, and feedback would be very much appreciated in these early stages, there might be a few things that you think it should have. And I know I'm probably going to preempt, some people may ask for the ability to export their lists. That is coming. We will be offering a slightly different package in the form of Brad Intelligence, and that is due in the next few weeks. And I'm sure if any of you are interested, we will be in touch about that. But in the meantime, my telephone number is 020-7728-4304, and my email address, no, that's incorrect. My telephone number has changed. It's 020-7728-4829, 4304 is the number that you'll be speaking to my colleague Tom on regarding Brad. Or my email address is michael.kirkham, so that's michael.kirkham at the number 4, the letter C, -group.com. And please do get in touch with any questions or feedback that you've got. However, for now, I see there are no questions. I wish you a happy Friday and have a great weekend. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.